All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Sips and Conversations Live. I'm your host, Nancy Ngwa, and today I'm sipping just on a little concoction, okay? I've been having water for the past few weeks, but today, I've got reason to celebrate. It is Cinco de Mayo. It is margarita day. It's not a margarita, but it's a delicious drink. So cheers. Um, as I guess I can take a sip, okay? To just living life. All right, so today we have got an incredible young lady. All right, Shayla. She is the founder of 66 Media, and she also has the Shayla Nicole Collection, as well as she has a podcast, all right, called Shero Convo. So raise your glasses, all right, help me to bring her on this evening.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired. You see the bags under the eyes. I'm exhausted, but
You look
it's a
amazing.
great day. It's a great day. I get to chat with you. We all get to chat with you and just learn more about who Shayla is, the woman, the entrepreneur, the content creator, all the awesome things. So before we hop into the conversation, all right, why don't you go ahead and give us just a little brief intro. You look fabulous. I love your hair, by the way. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
it's so fabulous.
thank you.
Fabulous.
Um, so I guess a little bit brief about me. My name is Shayla. I am in Alabama. And like you said in your intro, I have a digital content media agency here in Alabama called 66 Media. And we do like productions and digital content for a number of clients. And we help businesses and brands kind of, I guess, create their space and their digital presence online. Um, I also have a lipstick line by the name of the Shayla Nicole Collection, um, which I started, I think in like 2014. Like it's been a
Oh
minute.
wow! Oh,
Yeah, it's
are
been
you
around a minute.
rocking these Shayla today?
Yeah, so this is Betty Boo from my line.
Oh
And
my
we have some new
gosh!
stuff that's coming out too that I'm excited about. Um, and what else? And then also I have the podcast, Shero Convo, where I talk to other rising female entrepreneurs who started their business either as a side hustle or just like a passion project. And then
Mm-hmm.
they've gone on to make those into actual businesses. So yeah, in season 3, I'm working on it. It's coming soon. I'm working on it.
So awesome, so awesome, so awesome. Okay, you got a fan club here, all right.
I
It's
see y'all in the
UTC. Hey
comments.
Shayla, yes. Somebody said
Hey,
Devin said you got a hot date tonight.
that's my boy Devon. Listen,
Oh, Devon.
Devon is amazing. I actually, so Devon is in Texas. And I actually, the power of Instagram, like I met him on Instagram.
Wow.
We flew out to LA. Well, he flew out to LA. I flew out to LA to meet another person. Um, which I'll go ahead and shout out, is Pastor Albert Tate over at
Wow.
Fellowship Church in LA. He has a
Wow.
new book out called How We Love Matters, howwelovematters.com. I'm gonna just plug all my people real
Yeah,
quick.
plug him up, plug him up.
So went out there to meet Pastor Tate and met Devon, and the rest is history. So yeah, shout out to Devon, shout out to CC. I'll see y'all in the comments. Yeah.
Yes, so dope, so dope. So, maybe they might learn a couple things they don't know about you today. So as we kind of dive on into who you are.
Yeah.
So, I like to kind of start these off by just kind of really talking about you. You said you're from Alabama. Are you born and raised in Alabama?
Yes. Born and raised. I've lived here my entire life. I have no plans on moving. So yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it about Alabama? Because, so I'm West African. When we first moved to the States, my dad we came on a fellowship or whatever he had, I don't know, internship, something, scholarship to Auburn University. So he went to school with Bo Jackson. That's like his claim to fame. He's like, yo, Bo Jackson was on the field when I was in school.
Wow. Did he play
um,
while he was at Auburn?
oh my, did Bo play? Yes, Bo played while my dad was in Auburn. That
But your
that tells
dad
his
didn't play.
age.
But your
No, my
dad
dad didn't play. No, no, no.
got you. Okay.
The only football that he played is football, you know.
Got you.
Soccer. So yeah, but you know, so obviously we moved out of Alabama and all that jazz, and my brother was actually back in Montgomery, and you know, it's a small. They're all small towns. So is that what you enjoy? It's like a good small town feel. Like what do you love about Alabama?
Okay, so this is gonna sound kind of I don't know, but you know how a lot of times people move away and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the city of big lights and
Yeah.
opportunity and so on, so on, and then they go, and I always tell them like, yeah, you jumped up and you moved to your LA's, your Houston, your Atlanta, and
Mm-hmm.
now you're like a little fish in a big pond. And in
Ooh.
Birmingham, I feel like I'm a big fish in a little
Yeah.
pond.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd rather just stay here and like make opportunity happen for myself versus like, trying to run out and chase it. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm looking to be an actress or something, like it would make sense to be in
Yeah.
LA or
Yeah.
Atlanta and, link up with Tyler Perry Studios or something like that. But for what I'm trying to do, like I could just rep from the 205.
The two, I love it. And you know what? I love that answer because you're right. A lot of people try to go out to these big cities and take advantage of what they can get from there. But for you to be able to make it right where you're at and say, no, this is my home. I'm gonna, because not only are you bringing opportunity for yourself there, but you're bringing opportunity. Really, you shining on Alabama right now, right? It's like because a lot of people aren't really sitting where they're from, and so you're actually bringing a name to your city. So I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So have you always known that you wanted to kind of get into, you know, the world of social media or just media itself and just entrepreneurism or, you know, what did that look like kind of growing up for you?
So I think this is the part where we sip.
Oh, cheers. Okay.
Yeah. Because my story is a crazy one. Um, I was kind of um thrusted and like thrown into the life of being an entrepreneur. I
Okay.
definitely did not see for myself that I would be running a full-time business this early in life. Um, as far as me being in media, that came from me just being at church and serving, as young as I think maybe like 13 years old. I was
Wow.
serving our media department at
Wow.
church. And so from there, I ended up transitioning to another church and was serving there in that capacity as well. And then ended up being approached to say, hey, what do you think about coming on here full time staff and
Wow.
being a media director, And so
Wow.
to that point, I'll just say for anybody listening, like amazing things happen when you serve. So if you're into doing
Mm.
something for money or whatever, like you're kind of limiting yourself if you're only taking on opportunities for money. So like in my story, I was volunteering, serving in media and serving in excellence. Like even though I was a volunteer, I was doing it with the heart and the passion, like I was getting a check every
Yeah.
week. And I would
Yeah.
and then the opportunity came to say, hey, do you want to come on and be full time here? And to be honest with you, I turned them down twice. I was like, no.
Wow. Why?
Well, because I at the time had a really good government job. I had a really good job with the U.S. bankruptcy, and so I had been there, um, you know, 10 years.
Wow.
And so, and as you can see, I look young. I am a little bit young. So I started there like really early.
Right. I'm like 10 years. You're like 12.
Right. Yeah, so I was there 10 years, and I was like, no, I'm not leaving my good job and my good pension and to come
Right.
to church.
Right. Security, right? For like, you're like, nah, I'm not gonna make no money over here, and I got security, and I've got a career path. Like, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
And so, you know, then I started thinking about it more and I was like, well, I really do enjoy what I'm doing here. And so let me think about it. And so that's what I did. I thought about it and I ended up taking on the position and I was there for a year. And then God saw that I should be going in a different direction as far as what I was doing on my career path. And so then that's when I started 66 Media and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, just so many things, because to be able to take that risk, like, what, I mean, you enjoyed what you were doing, right? But like, what was it that said, you know what, let me just do this? Because to step out of your comfort, we're gonna sip again, okay?
Get your glass, Nancy. Get your glass. Because, whereas I would love to have this, beautiful, glamorous answer of like, oh, I was in my prayer closet and I heard from the Holy Spirit and
Right.
girl, move, girl, move. It wasn't that glamorous. I got fired, boo. I got fired.
Oh, wow. Hold on, wait a minute. Because, look, hold on. Because literally, God literally said, okay, you're not going to make this decision. I'm going to make it for you. That's legit what happened.
That is exactly what happened because even, my boss at the time, he said out of his mouth to me, which, and I don't like to I'll talk a little bit about it
Yeah.
because it's part of my story.
Right.
I have to tell it in a way that I still don't give too much light to that
Right.
situation.
Right.
Because God has brought me from that. Amen.
Yes. Amen.
So, he said to me, like, why don't you just quit? And I said, you would have to fire me. And that's what happened. I got fired because obviously God wanted me to go in a different direction. And I loved what I did to the point that I would not move. I had to be forced out. And
Yeah.
the reason that I said that I was thrusted into being an entrepreneur and going ahead and starting my business is because when it happened, I reached out to other churches, other businesses, and was attempting to apply for these jobs, and I wasn't getting called back, but I
Wow.
was getting called to do side projects. And so then with doing the side projects, they're like, well, we need you to have a W-9, we need you to have a business license. Yeah. And so before
Mm.
you know it, I'm required to have all of this stuff. And so I'm, setting it up with structure. And then I was like, well, hell, I done did all that. I'm in business now,
Yeah.
and that's really how it happened. I was applying for jobs that wasn't getting callbacks and offers,
Yeah.
but I had people calling me on the side saying, can you produce this for me? Can you edit this for me? And
How did they know about you at that point? Like, how were you out there even for somebody to be able to call you and ask you that question?
because again, the work that I had done where I was, it spoke for itself.
Gotcha.
So people, my name had gotten out there. People were familiar with me. Also, again, being a big fish in a little pond. So,
Yeah.
like Birmingham is very small. It's like everybody knows everybody.
Wow.
So then, word of mouth. People were saying, "Oh, you need somebody to do this." I know somebody that does that, and they were, constantly putting my name out there and stuff. I've been in business. Next year will be 4 years that I've been in business.
Wow.
And I have not spent any money on advertising 66 Media. All of my business has been word of mouth. And I've done some work with municipalities, global brands, big businesses, things that people would only dream to have on their resume. And all of that comes from people speaking my name in rooms that I wasn't even privy of.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're privy because you you worked with grace, right? You worked with excellence through it all. And
Mhm.
I really am such an advocate. And when you do that, you will forever be blessed, right? Like, you got to work. I would say you work as if um you, you work as though you're working for God, really and truly, right? And so when you put your whole heart and soul into whatever it is that you do, your name's gonna come flying, and 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 you're just gonna be abundantly blessed. I got a story that I can't tell just because I can't tell it right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's so you're just living proof of that. So what kind of work are you doing with Six Media exactly? If you can kind of expound on that.
hmm so like I said, it is a digital content agency. So what we do is we work with businesses and brands to make them have a very strong digital presence online. So we do web design. So we have a lot of
Okay.
clients that come to us and say, I need a website or I have one and I hate it. So, we build websites. We do a lot of like digital content and digital programming. So as you
Hmm.
know, people are cutting the cord with cable. People are streaming. They're doing YouTube and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So we help people to like grow and monetize their YouTube channels,
Wow.
and just things like that. And then also we do a lot of live stream production for virtual and hybrid events. So we do, especially at the height of the pandemic, we did a lot of virtual events, and now we're getting into doing more of in-person events and stuff. So, we've done um, quite a bit of stuff, from like concerts during the pandemic for, some major artists, to doing conferences, just a lot of stuff like that. And then also we do social media branding and coaching. So like people that may say, I know that I should be doing reels, but I don't know how to do reels, or I don't
Yeah.
know how to make reels work for me in my business.
Yeah.
Then I coach people on how to do that. Like, okay, so I'll just throw this out here. You're a realtor, right? So this
Yeah.
is how you can take reels and use reels in your business. So we do some things like that.
Yeah, that's ultra dope. On the website part, I mean, I you named a few things you're doing. You're doing the websites, you're doing how do you build reels? Because reels are huge in building your Instagram account. I mean, because you just reach so many people. Which do you think is the most if someone is just a new startup, right? You don't have the funds to kind of get into everything. Where do you think that somebody should focus their time and really their money, right? Their what's that called? It's so I can't think. My brain is gone. Your help me with the word. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I can't think. I
Your
can't
monies, like your stuff, your cash.
remember. Um, I think it depends. I think that if you are somebody that's looking to be more of, let's say, like a social media influencer, or that your business is really going to be like social media heavy,
Yeah.
then I would say
Okay.
focus on being on social media. If you're
Mm-hmm.
more of like a business, um, I would say, online boutique, or
Mm-hmm.
you also have a brick and mortar, in your city or something, then I would definitely say to focus on having a website. Um, I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
website is the front page to your business.
Mm.
People want to know about you. They're going to Google, they're going to Bing, and they're looking for you online. And so
Yeah.
I do think, which I hosted a whole masterclass on this, if you, even though I'm saying, focus on your social media and start there, if you don't have the money to be, online with a website,
Yeah.
at some point you still need to migrate to that website. Because if you remember, sometime late last year, for whatever reason, Facebook and Instagram went completely offline for a whole day.
Yes.
And people were freaking out, because you have
Yeah.
people who all they do is on social media. They
Yeah.
use their inbox to communicate to clients. They use their Facebook business page to sell. They use their Instagram shop to sell. And I was like,
Oh
when does it ever come
wow.
back? What are you going to do? And so
Yeah.
while the rest of the world was panicking, Shayla was like, I'm
So
good.
yeah.
Because I built an email list offline, and I make sure to convert my followers, and get them out of my inbox. Like, I don't do business in my inbox on
Right.
Instagram
Right.
or Facebook. I want
Right.
your email address, because if something happens, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna hit you up online, another way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's ultra dope. And I'm probably gonna have to hit you up for a couple things. You said some things that I really liked. Because like growing a business, growing a social platform. So for me personally, I started off in, so I've got Nita's Cuisine. Nita's Cuisine started off as a catering business. My cousin and I started this a year ago. And now I'm just a solopreneur, right? Doing it. I took a little break for a little while, rebranded. I've got sauces and stuff going. I don't like to cater, but people for some reason will eat my food and
Wow.
go ask for more, and I don't know how to make them stop.
Wow.
But it's been taking a lot of time. So now I'm kind of in a season of, okay, I need to just build to where I can get some residual income and just start growing a team so that I can train them how to make the food and all that good stuff, right? But
Mm-hmm.
what's happened is that my brand is starting to turn more social versus just like having the website. And so, you say things like you've got to take it, to get your followers out of your inbox and send them, get them, to email. And so like that kind of thing is what I think, like, especially solopreneurs really need help with. Even if you have a team that already works it, they're not always the experts all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
that's dope.
Oh yeah, I know all about being a solopreneur. Like now, I'm at a place where I've grown the team to be. It's a team of 7, and that's
Wow.
including myself. But at least I know for that first year and a half in business, I was a solopreneur. I was doing everything,
Yeah.
invoicing, customer service, building the websites, doing the social media. Like I was doing everything. And then just slowly I started to grow and scale the business to where I was able to kind of take my hands off of things. So,
Yeah.
started small. Like first, I had one assistant and she did a really good job, and then we kind of transitioned her into being more on like a copywriter side, because I noticed like, oh, she's really good with writing this stuff. So then we brought in another assistant, and
What's
then
copywriting?
yeah, so when you have, basically it's somebody that writes for you. So like say if you come
Okay.
to me and say, Shayla, I need a website, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the words that I'm going to put on my site for my about us section. This
Okay.
girl literally writes your
Wow.
about us section, your
Dope.
contact us. Like they're trained to write in a way that converts, or in a way that is persuasive writing, or
Yeah.
whatever that goal is. And so
Dope. Really, really dope. Really, really dope. So, okay, so you start Six Six Media. How do we get to the lipstick? Because I know some people like to makeup shame women, but I love it. I love makeup. I think it's just such a way to express yourself and to just feel good about yourself. And, whenever you feel like throwing on a face. And there's levels of beats, right?
yeah.
So how did you start up your lipstick collection? Well, you said you started in 2014, so that was before this. Actually, I just thought about that.
Yep. And that's what a lot of people don't know. Well, people that know of the line, they know. But I guess because of all of the success that I've had with 66 Media, and because I feel like that's more so of my full time, like that's my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the lipstick line was around first. The way that I got into doing the lipstick is I wasn't big on wearing lipstick. I always thought that I was, too dark for certain shades, and
Mm.
I just didn't like how it looked.
Yeah.
So I was more of like your
I know
lip
the
gloss.
feeling. That was me. I'm like, look at my lips. Look at these.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna look like a clown if I put lipstick on. So
No,
I
see,
no.
that's how I felt. But you just got to learn the tricks of it, right?
Yeah.
And so my cousin, started kind of like introducing me to some colors and things that I might like. And I'll never forget, I had a coworker that bought a lipstick from a pretty popular brand, and she didn't like it. And she left it on my desk, and she was like, you can have this because I don't like it. And I was like, okay. And so I put it on, and I posted a picture on Instagram wearing it. And people started hitting me up like in the comments, what is this? What is this lipstick? And before I knew it, like all of my friends had that same shade. And so I went to my mom and I was like, people are buying that lipstick that I had on. I said, I'm always like a
You're an
animal.
entrepreneur.
So I'm like, if they listening to what I'm saying, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
figure out a way to make $1.
Right, right.
So I said, what do you think about me starting a lipstick line? And she was like, how are you going to do that? That's expensive. And I will say nowadays it's a lot easier than it was back then for me. I had to do a lot of research and even, going to Delray Beach, Florida to meet with my manufacturer and
Wow.
just testing out different things until we got it exactly how I liked it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you can go on Etsy or you can go on Alibaba or something and
Yeah.
just, buy some stuff and sell
Yeah.
it. And so we started to have those meetings and things and ended up deciding to go ahead and just like develop the line. And one of the things that I'm really proud of is that I am 100% the owner. I never had any
Wow.
angel investors. I never had any partners, any silent investors, anything like that. It has all been from my hard work and um, my money. I'm fully 100% funded myself.
Yeah.
And again, the same way that I'm doing with 66 Media and starting small and growing and scaling, I did the same thing with the lipstick. I started out and I only had like 8 shades and they were all lipsticks. And now we've gone on to grow it to where I had, at one point over 24 shades in the line.
Wow. Wow.
We've gone on to go from lipsticks to lip glosses and liquid matte lipsticks and just different, a different variety of things. And so, yeah, so that's how we started with the lipstick. And every time that I think that I'm going to stop doing it, like somebody walks up to me and they ask for it and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like I guess we'll just keep doing it. But
Yeah.
I've been saying for years that I'm going to dissolve it, but I never do.
Why would you, is it because of time? Like, why would you stop?
I feel like I feel like the market has gotten a little bit oversaturated. I feel like on Instagram, everywhere I look, everybody got lip gloss, lipstick, waist trainers, whatever.
Lipstick, lip gloss, and waist trainers. Like, in that order.
In that order. But then, a friend of mine reminded me, like, just because other people are doing it doesn't mean
Yep.
that you're not needed in this space. And so
Yep.
obviously there's still a demand for it. I kid you not, I even like shut the site down. Like I put up a different cover page. I thought I like had all the links taken off to where people couldn't go to the
Oh no, there's no sound.
that's so weird. If y'all can hear it, because I can hear you. If other people can't hear us, can y'all say something in the comments? Because I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
Um, but they still were able to find like the back end of the site and still were like placing orders and stuff. So
Wow.
yeah. So I'm gonna be around a little bit longer.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, we can hear you. Okay, good. Look, I'm sitting here like, wait, do I keep speaking? Thank
Perfect.
you.
That's what I'm around. Hey,
Okay.
Sarah.
Oh, thank you for putting us at ease. Okay. At least me at ease. Look, Shayla was like, I know I'm good. I don't have any problems.
I can hear you just fine.
I can hear you
Reverend
fine.
Reverend ATL, you got to turn your device up. Cut us off.
You're so funny. Yeah, so what is it about lipstick that you enjoy?
Ooh. I feel like so to me, okay, 2 things. For me, when your brows are done, your face is done. And
Absolutely, yes, yes,
let's start there. Like
yes,
you said earlier,
yes,
there's levels.
yes, yes, yes.
So when your brows are done, your face is done. And then I feel like with lipstick, you can just have like a pop of color and you don't need a lot of anything else, right?
Yeah.
One of my friends, shout out to Dewana Thompson, the new president and CEO of the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. Whoop, whoop. Give it up. So, during the pandemic, I'll never forget, like, she and I were in the car together and we were coming back from a road trip and she was like, can you drive? Because I have to jump on this Zoom. And I said, sure. And she's just a total girl boss. I mean, I hate to name drop, but the girl was getting on a Zoom call with Senator Cory Booker. So I'm like, girl, yeah,
Oh wow.
I'm a witness.
Oh wow. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so I remember she was in the car. She started putting this red lipstick on. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, oh, my trick for Zoom meetings is I just put on a bold red lip and my eyeglasses. And I was like,
Word.
so you got to have, I like about lipstick how you can just, you know, it's just one of those things where if you don't feel like putting on a lot of makeup or anything, put on that pop of color. The other reason that I like makeup lipstick is because my mom sleeps in lipstick. She loves lipstick. And as a little girl, she used to always tell me, like, you know, not putting on lipstick feels like not having on panties. And I was like, what?
What?
I'm like, is it that serious? And she's like, oh, it's serious. And she loves her lipstick. She loves her lipstick.
That's so amazing. You do so many. Everything that you do is really, to be honest, to like help other people just shine and be the best versions of themselves. I mean, from the media to the makeup, to the lipstick line, and then the podcast. All right, we've got Convo. Did I say it right? Shero Convo,
You wrote.
which is just. I'm gonna let you just kind of speak on, you know, how did you even come up with that concept, and what is your, you know, what do you do with that? Like, what's your ultimate vision for that podcast?
Yeah. Hold on real quick. I just saw Albert Tate jumped in. Shout out to Albert Tate. You're gonna have to go back and watch the beginning because I shouted you out, and I shouted out your book,
Yes.
matters.com, which can also you know, be picked up in Target, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, Walmart, Amazon, Audible, you know, wherever you want to get the book, get it. Okay, Pastor Tate.
Wait, what's the book again?
How We Love Matters.
How We Love Matters.
Yeah, I had to give him a little shameless plug. I did it real good at the beginning, so go back.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, she did. She did. I was here. I was present.
But so with the podcast, I started the podcast in 2017, and I really have no idea why I started the podcast. Like, I think at the time I was just looking for like another little passion project. I had gotten really heavily into listening to podcasts, and so I was like, oh, it'd be cool to start my own one of these. Yeah. And I have so many friends who were starting businesses or starting to do things, you know, outside of their 9 to 5. I always say they have a 9 to 5 and then they have a 5 to grind, right?
Ooh.
Your side people,
you need to have a shirt for that.
9 to 5.
Or have a lipstick called 5 to Grind or something like that. You got to use that. I've never heard that before. I love it.
We got to use it. So I started to want to hear more of their stories, and I wanted to hear more about, you know, how did you get into printing t-shirts or making baby food or making journals and stuff. And so
making baby food, is that for real? Was that like a real?
Yes. Yep. It might be season 1. There's an interview with a young lady named Sabrina Parker. And at the time she was making like organic baby food.
Wow.
So I just wanted to start to hear more of their stories and stuff. And so I started interviewing different female entrepreneurs to hear more about how they took their passion and started turning it into profits. And one of the things that I really like
passion to profits.
So many, they turned their passion into profits, girl. And so many of them have gone on to like be in a position to where they're now running those businesses full time. And like most of us started out doing that on the side. And so
no, that's really, really dope. I know it's really hard to even say what your favorite one is, because I know I can't say what my favorite like episode has been, because everybody has such like unique stories. So I guess for you, what's more so like the outcome? Like what part of it do you like really enjoy? Is it sharing the stories? Is it people learning something new? Like what part is your favorite part about that project?
I think my favorite part is getting the feedback from other people that listen to the show that say, oh, I listened to that episode where so-and-so talked about their business and now I'm excited to start my business. I think for me, it's hearing the inspiration that other people get from listening to the podcast. Because I'm all about, you know, just having like a whole village of girl bosses, you know. I love being in a room where people are just like, my name is so-and-so and I own a t-shirt line, and my name is so-and-so and, you know, I make sneakers or just whatever it is. So that's like what I really enjoy, is knowing that other women are listening to those stories and saying, oh, if Shayla and Nancy and these other people, if they're doing it, I can do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the motivational piece is definitely a driver. And, for me, it's what allows me to, you know, go to work all day and come home and
Say
hop on here. And because if just one person can say, I was able to get something out of it. And then also, one thing I listen to a lot of podcasts.
mm-hmm.
It's actually ridiculous because
Really.
I'm always saying, I was listening to this podcast and and just being able to kind of share that knowledge. But one of the things that the podcast I was listening to one time, I listen to Social Proof podcast a whole lot, and I'm about to add yours to my roster of podcasts that I listen to. And so,
And I
but
gotta get you on the podcast too. So.
oh yes, I'm down. Just holler, just holler. And actually, Rama Walker, she just joined. She's we're leading up a Sips Elevated, and so it's a different. So it's where we go from the motivation to actually the teaching,
Mm-hmm.
right? Element of it all. So that's a new project that I've got. Our first one goes live. I think it's next Tuesday.
Love
But
it.
um, but anywho, so we were talking about the podcast was talking about how sometimes it's important to get around people that have a different mindset. And so for me, that's what's so powerful about podcasts, like with yours, with Shero Convo, it's people being able to pull pieces from other people's like life and their journey. That's them entering a whole nother room. And we think about rooms as like physical tangible spaces, right, where I could touch you, but that is a room. It's a room, it's an environment. And so I think it's just so dope when another woman is able to feed into, whether it was a woman or a man, in that positive light.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that that's one of the things I love about the internet is
Yeah.
um, you're able to be quote unquote in those rooms.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may not ever get an opportunity to meet Oprah, but I can turn on a podcast and listen to her story, and
Yeah.
so I like that aspect of it too. That's
Yeah.
things that's really cool, and I learned so much from my guests as well, because even though I'm interviewing them, I'm still a listener and a learner. And like you said, being around people who aren't as smart as you, or I'm sorry, being around people who are smarter than you, or people that
Hmm.
are more experienced than you can learn
Hmm.
so much
Hmm.
from them. And I think
Hmm.
it's really important. um, I think that when I was able to get in a situation where I wasn't the smartest person in the room, that's where I feel like I grew.
Yes.
And a lot of the things that
Why?
I do,
Why? Do you know?
um, I feel like because it gave me a different way of looking at things, it gave me a different outlook. Um, and I have some friends who are very successful in their business. They buy and they flip homes. And I used to go over to their office like once a month and just kind of like brainstorm with them. They would ask me questions, I would ask them questions, and
Hmm.
they are a huge reason why and how I got out of that solopreneur mindset. Like they were the ones
Mm.
that sat me down and said, okay, this is how you begin
Yeah.
like a hiring process. This is where you
Yeah.
find people. And so I just think it's important to get around people that know more than you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get
So
around some old people. Y'all don't want to be
yeah.
around old people. Sit down with your grandmom and your granddaddy, and because old people have wisdom.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
our generation are not the first people to own
Yep.
businesses. My
Yep.
grandfather owned a business for over 50 years before he
What did
passed
he
away
do?
in 2012. Girl, of all things, my granddad had a HVAC and refrigeration business.
I
So
love it.
he was that person where when you
Granddaddy was rich. Granddaddy had all sorts of money.
really,
He had to have. HVAC
you think so,
in the South?
girl? He wasn't rich in monetary things or wealth, but yeah, up here,
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
so
had it all. He had it all. And then sometimes it's all about like, again, what room do you enter, right? So somebody that's in HVAC, the work ethic is immense because, and it's a need, right? It's a service based, it's like necessity. And so, you know what, now that I kind of think about it, and you're in a service based necessity too, like in a different kind of way, right? So I can only imagine how much you learn from him.
mhm.
Kind of looking ahead, right? What do you see as your full scope, full scale, vision for all your projects that you have going? I'm sorry, you looking like, oh Lord, why did she just ask me that question? I'm sorry. But we can just do one, break it down one at a time. You know, you've got the media group who is doing some really incredible things, helping people grow their businesses, grow, really share your voice. I think that's what I look at when I think about content creation and websites and growing your social media platform. Where do you see that really going in the future?
Um, with the media agency, I want to kind of become like a household name. Like I want people to know, okay, if I'm looking to start a podcast, start a YouTube channel or whatever, like I kind of want to get to that place where people know like, oh, I need to hit up Shayla. I need to hit up the people
Yeah,
over at 66. So
yeah.
I kind of want to do that. I've got some things that I want to do definitely this summer where we start to host different parties and mixers and stuff at the office where other business owners can come and again learn from each other. I want to create that space just as I did with the podcast where people could listen to other female business owners and hear their stories and be inspired.
Hmm.
I want to now bring all of those people together in one room and we host
Yeah.
mixers where people can sit down almost kind of like a cohort where you come together and you can pick from each other
I
and
love it.
learn things just like how I said that I would go to my friend's office once a month and
Yeah,
brainstorm with them. I want to create that space for other people,
I
so
love that. I
I want to
love
do
that.
that. With the lipstick, definitely want to continue to grow and rebrand the line. We're in the process of doing a complete revamp. I'm talking brand new website. I'm
Yeah.
doing new photos. I'm doing rolling out some new things in the product line and stuff. So I'm excited about that. Definitely getting ready to start back season 3 of the podcast, which you and I talked a little bit about offline. I was saying how, again, growing and scaling, I've now brought
Hmm.
in a really cool um, producer that's going to be handling that. Her name is Jordan. So I'm excited about the ideas that Jordan has brought to me because again, I'm like, I don't want to be the smartest person. So you listen to
Yes.
these episodes and if you see
Yes.
a way that I can improve on this,
Yep.
tell me. So she's going to come in and she's going to handle that. And I'm just excited about the future. I think by this time next year, I'm going to be able to look back and say that I've done some really cool things and that I've checked a lot of stuff off of my to-do list and my list of goals.
Yeah, that's all really super duper um exciting stuff. And I know I'm really excited for more lipstick. Oh, really for all of it because again, we need to talk business because I know I need your help. Um in a
You know where
serious
to
kind of way.
find me.
In a serious kind of way. So do you think that how do you think that you having your own business, right, like own lipstick line has really helped you propel really everything else because it all started with that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that's helped you kind of prove or even grow in other areas?
Yeah, I always, look at business from the approach of what am I doing that is like my launching pad, right?
Mm,
So for me, um, running the Shayla Nicole collection taught me a lot about how to research and find things that I didn't know the answer to. Like I did back in 2014, I didn't have somebody that I could go to and say, how do I start a lipstick line? Like a lot of that
right.
came from me doing um, my research. Funny story. That's how I got into doing websites because I didn't have money to pay somebody to do my website.
Wow.
So I just kind of dug in. I remember I gave myself a goal of 1 week, and I was like, and at the time, I can't remember what happened, but something was going on with my computer. And so I didn't have a computer at the time. And I went to my public library every
Wow.
day for a week and built my website
Wow.
sitting there in the library.
Wow.
And then once I did that, I was just like, okay. So I think everything that I had to do with the lipstick line, I still apply a lot of those principles and things that I learned in my business today with
Yeah.
66 Media.
Yeah. Mad dope, mad dope. So as we get ready to kind of wrap this up, I know you've had a long day. And what is, with everything that you've learned in all of your ventures, right, and all that you have yet to come, I like to always ask people, what's the one thing that, if you weren't to say anything else, one piece of advice that you would give to anybody as to how to oh gosh. No, I'm just kidding. We're not done. We're
Okay.
not done.
Okay.
I'm backing up for 1 second. I'm so sorry. I need a couple more minutes of your time because you had something. I was about to ask you a question, but I don't want you to answer this question without answering this other question.
Okay.
You posted something on your page regarding balance and boundaries.
Hmm.
So, you being so busy in everything, like how do you maintain boundaries in really every area, right? Business, personal, for you to be able to be so focused on everything else. Like, what's your thing on boundaries? Because I love the post that you had, and I just remembered it. I'm like, no, 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 we got to bring this up real fast.
Oh yeah. Um. So with the thing about boundaries is one of the one of the joys of being an entrepreneur, especially when you get to the place of being able to run your business and work for yourself full time,
Yeah.
is the freedom. Okay, it's not about the money. It's about the freedom. It's about me being
Mm,
able to get up when I want to, with the exception. I mean, with the exception of like maybe I got to be up at a certain time for a
yeah.
meeting, or I've got to be on set at a certain time or something like that. But again, like in a lot of in a lot of aspect, like I set my own hours, right?
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
might be different for you if you own a brick and mortar store. Your hours are 9 to 5. You got to get up
Right.
and unlock that door.
Right.
But again, you decided that you would be open at 9. So
Right.
one, it's about the freedom, right? And
Right.
so with having that freedom, to make sure that people don't interrupt that time that is your me time or your family
Hmm.
time, you have to set boundaries in your business. And so one of the things that um, I do, one of my big boundaries is that a lot of my clients don't have my cell phone number because
Mm,
people tend to, and don't get me wrong, a lot of times like they don't mean any harm by it. It's just the way of our society and the day and age that we live in. It's easy to just pick up a phone and send a text, but they may
yep.
not know that you are at your child's soccer game, or you're at your daughter's ballet recital or something, and so you're not responding to them. And then I also think, because of the on-demand response that we've become accustomed to with
Instant gratification right now. I need it right
yeah,
now. Yeah.
they feel like, let me text her right now, and if I don't
Yeah.
get a response within 30 minutes,
Yeah.
I'm sit up and I'm gonna hit the iPhone and like put a little emphasis on the message.
Rude.
Which I had somebody that used to do that to me. I don't work with them anymore, but
Oh
she
my
would
God.
do that. And so I think it's important to set those boundaries, because if you don't set those boundaries and you don't establish clear boundaries with your customers, then sometimes they can overstep, and then you can also overstep, because sometimes
Yeah.
it's not even the customer. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's you that don't know how to not sleep with your phone in the bed, or your laptop,
Mm.
or your iPad.
Always working, sending stuff, right?
Yeah, you got to know when to shut it off. So
Yeah.
I definitely have to set boundaries.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just loved that. And then you had a thing that said, put your phone on do not disturb. And my sorority sister was like, I have got to practice that. And that's the thing that I started doing. I do it for the lives, obviously, but then just in life, Donnie Wiggins, she does it as well.
Mhm.
And she's like, my phone's on do not disturb all day.
Listen, my
Take that all
friends
day.
laugh at me because they are like, you are the do not disturb queen. And not only am I on do not disturb, but I have it disabled where if people do like the repeated calls,
You
you're
can't
still
get me.
not coming through. No, you're still not. I turn all that off. Um, yeah. But also, um, for some people it's not feasible to always be on do not disturb. So then
Right.
you have to do some research and figure out, okay, so like what kind of inexpensive phone system can I use or something, and so that's why my customers don't have my cell phone number, because I provide them a work number. So we have a nice
Yeah.
little, work number, and you can call and you can press
Yeah.
the extension you need to get to
I
whoever
love
you want
it.
to talk to. And we got hold music. Like, it's a cute little vibe over at Six.
Yeah. No, that's really smart, and it's so important to. This one guy once said, "You need to be vicious with your time."
Yes.
And if you don't set that expectation, people will definitely take advantage of it. And I love what you said, that sometimes it's you taking advantage of your clients. And so that's just so critical. That's just a huge takeaway that you have blessed me with, was that piece. I saw that and I was like, oh my goodness, this has got to come up, because it's just so needed. Just setting boundaries, and people feel like, when you're in business, hey, I don't want to let that dollar go away, right? If I don't respond, they're going to go to somebody else. But in some businesses, it's true, but not every single case. And sometimes people will respect you more when you're not always so easy to access too.
Yeah.
So,
And I have those boundaries, and I'm unapologetic about it. I mean,
mm,
even to the point that it's written in my service agreements. So when you sign up and say like, yeah, I want a website, and we outline the scope of the work that we'll do,
hmm
there's a clause in there that says like, these are our business hours. This is the way to
I love
contact
it.
us. This is the email that you'll use for like your general,
I love it.
correspondence and stuff. And so then when people step out of that, I'm quick to remind them like, hey, no, boo boo, I need you to go back and send the email. To call the office,
Right.
because you have to keep that boundary. And then also, like with our phone system, it's only going to ring during those business hours. And
I
so
love it.
it kind of it kind of helps because then I don't have to explain it. Like, it's self-explanatory. If they call and that message comes on, that's like,
Yeah.
we're open to serve you from
Yeah.
10 p.m. to 6 p.m.
I
And
love it. I love it.
they're not like, why is she not answering? I'm not answering because it's 6:30, boo boo. I'm on
Right.
the phone.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Oh my goodness, you are such a vibe. You are such a everything. And
Thank you.
yeah, like yeah, I just love it. We're probably gonna have to get you on Sips Elevated at some point to just give us a couple of tips on, how to set boundaries, maybe just a little bit more extensive. Because it's something that's just needed in the workplace, it's needed in business, is needed in friendship, is needed in just so many areas of life. So this might not be the last that we see of you, if that's okay.
That, that is perfectly okay.
All right, so there now I can ask my final round question, because I had to get that out of the way first. So if you had nothing else to share, right? A life hack, a life tip, something that you live by. I need one thing from you that you absolutely live your entire life by.
Ooh. Like, I don't even know, because I'm like, do I get deep and profound with it, or do
Look, you take a sip.
let me see. Let me sip. Maybe that'll help something come to me.
Take a sip.
Let me see. Like, so, okay. So, what's the question again? What is something that I live by?
Yes, just one thing that rules your life. Like if you had nothing else. I know it's a hard question, and I don't ask people this to prep intentionally, because I need to be raw
Yeah, and authentic. Yeah.
and
Okay.
authentic.
So, you give me an example of like,
No, 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 no.
what's your thing you live by?
Golly, it's a hard question. That's why I ask other people. But one thing that I that's why I don't ask myself the question. But no, one thing that I would definitely say that I live by. I live by several different things, but the one big thing is live every day as if it's your very last. So everything that I do it with that in mind. I give, I love from a point of respect because if that's my last moment with that person, I want you to know that I respected you, right? I work as if it's my last day. Like I try to, and then I live from a place of gratitude also with everything because you never know when that can be snatched away from you. So like everything I do is like, well, what if this was my last moment, right? I want to be remembered for just being great.
Got you. Okay, so see, that's a good example. That's a perfect example. And as you said that, it came to me. I was like, oh, I know what my thing is. So my thing, I think that I live by
Yeah.
is, and I've shared this with like my close circle of friends, but my motto for 2022, which I think I'm going to just go ahead and keep for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
is that if what I'm doing doesn't bring me peace,
Mm.
profit, or passion,
Mm.
I'm not doing it. Peace, profit, and passion. Again, going back to being, full time in my business, I'm at peace having freedom in my business. I, do things for profit. We just turned down an opportunity to do a really big ceremony for a very well established university. And the reason
Wow.
we turned it down is because their money weren't where I needed to be.
Where the money reside?
It,
Where the money
they
reside?
the school wasn't where the money
Where the money
resides.
reside?
So, so we were like the entire team, we were faced with, okay, so do we still do it or do we walk away from it? And for us, we needed to walk away because we, especially with the nature of how we do things, we do
Mm.
things with the spirit of excellence. And it's like we
Yes.
give you our all and we
Yeah.
walk away feeling so empty. So it didn't
Yeah.
profit, so I walked away. And then also passion. If it doesn't bring me passion, I don't want to do it. If I'm not doing it for the reason that it's going to make me happy when I'm done with it, I'm not going to do it. And so to that, I'll give an example. I had an opportunity last year to coach and mentor some young girls who want to go into business. And they told me, this is a volunteer opportunity. And remember, if you remember in the beginning when I shared my story, I said awesome things happen when you serve, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they came to me and they said, can you coach and mentor these young girls? This is a volunteer opportunity. We're not going to pay you for it. I said, okay, cool, because that falls in line with my passion of like helping to grow and develop our future leaders and our entrepreneurs, right? And so I did.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know, out of nowhere, these people, get your glass, Nancy, because this right here, this gonna bless you. These people out of nowhere came back and was like, girl, we got an extra $2,000 in our budget. We gonna send you some money.
Stop.
So I said yes. Things happen
What?
when you say yes. So like I said yes to doing that opportunity, and
Wow.
it ended up turning around and blessing me, tenfold.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, so that's what I'm about.
Wow.
Profit.
Peace, profits, passion. Oh my, like, so you and I connected, before this, and I said that, I'm turning all of the sips into podcasts. So we've already got all the platforms going, and so that's where I'm gonna need your help because I don't know how to do none of that stuff. How to just kind of grow from that perspective and edit and all that good jazz. But um, I think I'm gonna start. I've been struggling with what do I name these podcast episodes, right? So before I used to download when the live was over, but I don't do it anymore because I want people to get off the platform.
Yeah,
It's one that I've been learning, right? Get off the platform. But with you saying that, it just hit me. I'm like, I'm naming every episode the one thing
I love it.
that is going to bless people. And so your episode is going to be called Peace, Profit, and Passion
I love it.
because that is just phenomenal. Just such great bars. And you're such a beautiful person inside and out. And, I look forward to continuing, uh, uh, a, what do I call it? An interweb. connection until we meet in person.
Yes,
You
which
know,
we're going to meet because I like,
yes,
you told me that you're in Atlanta. I'm like,
I'm
girl,
right down the
meet me
road.
Atlanta Friday
I'm
and Saturday.
I'm right down the road. I'm right down the road. And so yes, we're definitely gonna meet up. We'll plan it out and then definitely meet up. Y'all gonna see us in a selfie. Be like, oh my
Right, right.
God, there they are.
Yes,
Yes, yeah. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to just continuing, our connection. And I thank everyone who has joined and everybody that's still on here. Y'all are amazing, and yeah, we'll see you all next week. Thanks for the sip, okay?
yes.
And cheers to y'all. All right, thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye.